Welcome back to another week at Drone DJ. First of all, we skipped the week last week. Sorry about that. My throat went out of commission, and then Kirk was just getting ready to actually go to DJI Airworxs down in Vegas. So we skipped one last week, and we're back this week with a full coverage on what happened at DJI Airworxs, especially with Kirk, actually down there. So I guess Kirk, my question is, what was the First of all, what was the number one demo or event you saw from Airworxs?
The whole focus of DJI Airworxs was really a showing off of the dock. They had a lot 4 or 5 demos, like of just the dock doing its basic like demo, which was pretty much take off from the dock, do a automated kind of like loop around the Mirage Hotel. Took some like pre-generated photos. Like I said, like it was kind of like if you want to do the same thing over and over again, like it went up, took a photo of the Mirage, zoomed in on the Mirage logo, took a photo of the Mirage logo on the hotel, zoomed out, did like a loop around it, and then like came back and land. And that was kind of like they did that for like that took like maybe like 5-10 minutes, and so they did it like 3 or 4 times. And then they did that like 4 or 5 times. I think it was like 4 times. This was the media only one that they showed us, so that was super cool. On like the first day.
And if you haven't seen this is on our YouTube video under Drone DJ. It was just posted a few days ago,
Yep.
right after the live demo. So the DJI Dock, really, to me, like personally, is the number one product I'm really looking forward to, because DJI is planning to deliver towards the end of this year, so it's not even available to the public.
So actually, they updated that when I heard from
Q1 of next year, I believe now.
Q2.
Q2. Wow. Even
so within they're talking. One person said Q2, one person says 6 months. So I don't know. They mean 6 months into the
yeah.
So
that's close to Q2.
I would say probably close to the Q2. I mean, it's a good like it's already like I think the two things I was kind of like, okay, it's either going to be really really awesome, or like there's going to be like it's going to be really really basic. And I think there's kind of like somewhere in between. Like it had it opened and closed perfectly every time. I mean, if you see it, this is pre-production, so like he said, like yeah, it's pre-production, so like it doesn't close up properly all the way. Like it's not fitted perfectly yet.
I have to say, this is smaller than I thought, because if you look up close, right, if you look at how much space the drone had on the landing pad, it didn't have that much space. So kudos to the drone being able to land precisely. But I have to say, this really is smaller than I thought. I thought it would be a bit bigger.
I wish I had a tripod to put like a video. Like I'm gonna put my phone like right next to it, and then because we couldn't go within the cones, obviously. Like there was some pretty like Vegas is a pretty active airspace. If you're going, so on like
you don't say.
On one side, on either side, there was a helicopter flying overhead probably like every like 5-10 minutes.
We actually saw it in the video. Yeah, if you actually watch that video,
it's funny. Someone commented right away, like just FAA violation. I'm like, DJI had their limit. They can only go up like I think it was like 75 feet or something like that. And then like the helicopters were flying over 200 feet. So like there was plenty of like separation between them, but like it was like every 5-10 minutes a helicopter would go over by. And so like they had pretty strict rules on where people could and couldn't be for the demo. But I wish I would have brought a tripod to get it, because you can see like you get a better idea, because when we did a close-up, they took the drone off. It's just the drone like that fits in. Like the rotors are outside almost, like it's just like the motors are and like everything else inside. So like when it closes, the rotors spin, so that makes sure like that they're sorry, I hit my mic, like they're I guess like the rotors are like kind of straighten out, and when the door closes, the doors actually push in the rotors, so like it doesn't overlap. It's kind of an interesting, like it was kind of an interesting solution to the problem, I guess, to make it smaller, but then also like not have the rotors get stuck outside, or have to like somehow find a way the rotors are closed, like the doors just close to themselves. It's pretty interesting. So
I don't believe the box can move. So if the box is
someone asked about it, and they said like it's 200 pounds. So I guess you would have to have like a forklift.
Pounds. Yeah, about 200 pounds. Like machinery to move it.
So yeah, it wouldn't be. It's not, so like they made it heavy enough.
4 guys could lift it, right?
Yeah, so they wanted to make it. They made it heavy enough to where it won't blow. You don't have to like bolt it into like concrete to make sure it doesn't fly away. So like you can just set it somewhere, and you don't have to worry about it like just walking off, unless like I said, like 4 people or like a forklift comes and picks it up.
Does it have to be connected to power? The dock itself, does it have to be connected?
It has backup power.
But the
But
primary power source, you have to connect it to power, right?
yeah,
Electrical
yeah,
outlet.
it's not. I mean, I wonder if maybe they could add some solar
Maybe you could
panels on the
swap
top,
battery.
or maybe you can throw some solar panels and like
Well, I
the
mean,
battery pack somewhere.
if you have a solar setup that just provides
Mhm.
power, you can just connect it, right?
That would have been actually really smart for them to add a solar panel on top of the
Would be nice.
on top of that, and then it's almost self. I mean, I doubt that would be enough solar panels to actually keep the battery charged and like. Well, I guess it depends how often you fly it. Maybe that
Depends
would
on
work for like
manufacturers, right?
depends on a lot of things. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't seem like the air conditioning cools. But we weren't able to like fully confirm that. Like it was kind of hard to get a lot of the questions we asked are kind of like we're still working on it. Like I asked about maintenance. I think my biggest concern about Dock right now is not necessarily if they can do it. Like this is a pretty well done product already. Like this, I mean, it already does what it's supposed to do. It takes it to lands and it moves the drone in the center and charges it. Like it does. I
Oh,
think like
it did move the drone. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it did already
You
move
said
it
that.
and plug in the charge ports. Like it's that was I think that like there is probably the hardest part to get this thing working and set up. Like being able to have a system that can cover the drone and take off and charge it. I think they already built that. I think the main concern is maintenance. I doubt they'll be ever as bad as like Apple or John Deere with their maintenance programs.
Right.
But like my biggest concern is like if there's a storm and a nice flamethrower. If there's a storm and like a branch hits and like damages the like dents in like the top of the dock or like hits off an arm. Here, hold on. So like if like maybe like one of the arms like gets damaged or like if like the button falls off or whatever like that, like how long are you gonna wait until you get a replacement part, and how easy is it for you to replace it, or are you gonna have to need a
Does it have,
certified
let's say, a
dealer or
surge?
something?
Does it even have, let's say, a surge protection, right, in case of
Yeah,
power outage?
I'm sure that one's probably
It
pretty
should,
basic.
right?
Yeah, like that one, like I would be shocked if it didn't have that. I like there's a lot of like the power delivery. I'd be shocked if it didn't have like all the safety features in it. Literally the only thing I think I'm concerned about is like just like maintenance wise, because there's going to be people out there
And
like
so
for consumer drones, it's
based
fine
on
to
the
be down.
question, did they
Yeah,
show the interface that actually controls it? Because you're supposed to be able to control it and program it
yeah.
outside, right?
So I don't know if you go back to the video. I don't think I have it on. Oh no, hold on, I do. It's right here. this is this is the best thing. I won this in a raffle
Kirk
and I love it.
won a display unit of the
I
DJI Dock.
I lost all my money in roulette that I put into it, but I won a raffle, so I guess that's a win. So there's a little panel right here, right here, and that drops down, and then there's a little port right there you plug into. I didn't get photos of it. They did do that. They did take it down, and I wasn't in a good position to get a photo of it.
But if you're not physically there, can you
Mhm.
connect to it remotely?
That's what they
Program
were already. Yeah, they already had. They were connected to it remotely to
okay,
start up the missions already. Yeah, like everything was done remotely through. Was it
remotely.
Hub 2? I think is what it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah, Fly Hub too. Yeah.
Yep. So that's what they were using. And I had some video of it, but like I videoed it when like more early in the sun, and it was like you couldn't even see the screen. So but I could see it. But my phone didn't really capture it that well.
So many of you, if you didn't know, last week was Airworxs 2022, which was a main enterprise demonstration
Mhm.
event. Mainly started by DJI, but they also allowed different third-party vendors to
Yep.
also present at the event. So besides the dock, share with us some of the highlights you've seen at DJI Airworxs. Did you go to any private, media only events?
Yeah, there were some there. I mean, I got a chance to go do some things with some members of DJI, and you can't get to talk with them, but like not necessarily not officially, like more like on the side. There were there was a media kind of like briefing the day before, which is kind of just like why they did it and like what they're doing and what they kind of want us to do. Like not necessarily tell us what to do, but kind of like here's why we're inviting media. Like please go learn about the things you don't know about. So I took to the heart.
So what did you learn that you didn't know?
So I actually went to a lot of agriculture sessions. I went to some BV law stuff, and I already have like set up like some articles to talk about kind of like what I kind of learned from BV laws wise. Like BVLOS, like there's a lot of the biggest concern is like they really need to change the regulations. Like regulations
Yeah.
really need to change to like make it widespread. And a lot of the people who were there like who are doing some lobbying and doing some work and that like they sense it's going to be changing. That's probably the biggest thing that's going to change
Was
in
FAA
the coming
there?
years. No, not FAA. A lot of like some drone associations, stuff like that, like law enforcement drone association, and I can't. There's another one that does just similar things. That was there. But agriculture wise, like I live in a pretty agriculture like area, and I need to start going around. I don't know. I need to start going around the farms to see like how many of them actually do it. I went to one session.
Airworxs 40, right?
Yeah, the T40 was there.
Yeah.
That thing's freaking huge. That thing's like like there's a video of the guy being carried like being lifted by, I think we showed it like a few months ago, and I totally believe it. Like that is a beefy drone.
Because it has to carry the solution, whatever material it's spraying, right?
Yeah, and it has two different like, so it has like the liquid one, and it also has I guess like the solid spreader version of it too. Like I guess that's two different ways you can do. Yeah, so one goes to the sprayers, which are on like the back two rotors, and then one has like just like it like spins at the bottom of the drone. It's interesting. I went to a session about like more like the economics of it and like how to start one.
Yeah,
and like for a second,
agriculture is always challenging.
I was sitting here for a second. I'm like, he was doing the math, and I'm like, okay, $30,000 drone, you can make like $5,000. Like you can make like you can do 5,000 acres in a year. You charge $18 an acre. I'm like, that's a pretty penny at the end of the year. Like I'm like, am I in the wrong business? Like this is pretty lucrative.
Well, remember from Independence Day. Remember, it was one of the main guys, right? His dad was flying the sprayer, the little crop duster airplane.
Yeah,
I was talking. You're looking at essentially doing that same line of business, right?
Yeah, and I guess so. The main thing I get the understanding is that the drones right now, the T30, which is out there, the main one right now, and the T40 will probably be fairly similar because it's not that much bigger, and the T30 is only 10 more liters of material that you can throw out there. They're great for the smaller fields and the hard to reach areas of the fields. But when you're talking like mega farms,
fixed wing would probably do better.
Crop dusters are still like they're still the fastest. Yeah. However, I was talking to some people are like really pissed off at crop dusters because it's like they just don't care. Like there's
that challenge too.
It's also like a lot of times like crop dusters will spray the wrong thing on your fields. They'll spray the wrong fields. It's because one thing is, so the person got asked like, how do we compete against crop dusters? And the guy pretty much just said like, you don't, because there's just not enough. Like there's just too much demand. You're not going to compete against a crop duster. They're going to have their business, and their business isn't going to go down, and you're just going to grow your business. And you're going to be maxed out pretty much within like a few months, probably, if you market yourself properly. So eventually though, like drones are superior to crop dusters. Like I guess I was talking with someone, I asked them like, what do you need then to replace crop dusters? And I think I kind of suggested like, do you need like some sort of like similar to like the size of the air taxis? Like, do you need something that big to compete? And they're like, yeah, that'd be nice. Like that'd be pretty good. I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
But that's a different regulation too, right? Based on the weight category.
Oh yeah, like the T30, T40 are already
is already in that
already heavier, and you need to have an N number registration and everything for it. So that's a whole process. They talked about the licensing process, and it can take up to a year to even get set up to even fly.
Right.
There are companies though.
Be a different drone once you get it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess by that point you get the T40. The T40, if you start on the T30 right now, the T40 will come out by the time you end, and then you probably should have gotten the T40 versus. The T30 still pretty good, but yeah. So there's a lot of cool things they're doing with the T30 out there.
Did they do any industrial demo, like any precision demo, especially with the RTK units and the base station?
Not that I saw. They did a few. They had a lot of. So they had an outdoor demo area, which was used kind of as like one of their like areas to do like sessions. So they had breakout rooms where you could go. You had like smaller sessions. They had the main stage where they had like some panels and whatnot. And then they had the outdoor demo area. And I thought the outdoor demo area would be like all flights. And that's where they did the Dock demo. And those were flights. And they did a M300 as well with the methane. The U10. laser, right?
Okay.
Um,
Did they do any
Mirage,
thermal demo?
I don't know. They had it on the it was
Agenda?
the M30T what they were
Yeah.
using for the dock demo, but they never
They
turned
never
it
did a
on.
thermal.
No, they were I guess that was their demo for that was like, oh, we're inspecting the hotel for cracks. Like it's that was their demo. And then they also did the M300 with the U10 for methane leaks. And they actually I have video of it. They picked up a lot of it alerted a lot on the roof of the Mirage for methane. I don't know. I was standing I should have just asked the guy I was standing next to because I went out with him to the bar bar night before, and that's what he does. He does methane like leaking technology like checks. I should have asked him like, is that a lot? Like I just never asked him that. I should have asked him that because it beeped up like pretty a lot, which was kind of funny. But no, they didn't do any thermals. The most industrial thing they did was that U10 demo. They had a parachute demo, but they didn't get approval from the FAA to fly.
Oh, do you know what was the manufacturer for the parachute? I'm trying to find it actually from the conference information.
Flight.
Products, accessories.
Ooh. I think they were a sponsor, so you might have to look for sponsors. I don't have like any. I just moved back. I just got back down here, and I don't have any windows open, so I can't like do a quick search.
Yeah, I'm just looking at. Okay, so what was interesting is I was looking at the Airworxs official website. Yeah, what is DJI Airworxs? I was looking at essentially,
is there a DJI Airworxs site already down?
Yeah, I couldn't find the DJI Airworxs site, like the actual Airworxs site.
And I have the pamphlet that has all the sponsors. But it's upstairs, so I can't go get it real quick. But oh man, yeah, no, wow, that was quick. For them to take down the Airworxs.
Yeah, try because I just got taken to here by DJI's website.
Interesting. Yeah, so it was not Flight Now.
Oh, there we go. Here.
Okay, cool.
Official.
Interesting. So if you go to I think they are a sponsor. Or if you go to Agenda, that could also be it. But scroll through our sponsors real quick. I'll see if I recognize the name. Not Flight Base.
Yeah, I see a lot of software. Did they actually
Flyfire? I think it's Flyfire. I think that's what it is. Flyfire was them. That sounds familiar. Oh, great. It's the image.
You have to click on it to go to their website.
That's funny. I'm pretty sure it's Flyfire. I think they had one from Mavic 3. They had one for that's what it is.
So it's not the ones that I knew. That's why I wanted to ask because
I was one person away from getting a like the person who won the raffle before me won a Mavic 3 parachute.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Even if you won it, I wouldn't put it on my Mavic 3.
I'm saying it was like they might get a free review.
The Mavic 3 Enterprise right here.
No, they might be getting a free review of their
you need a couple of M3s to go with the parachute. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it was designed just for the Mavic 3 base because they're basically the same drone.
Right.
The only difference was like I guess it doesn't have onboard storage, which I thought was weird. And it has like I asked the guy like what one of the DJI people there what the difference was. And it was like they structure wise is stronger, and then it doesn't have onboard storage, which I guess is fair. I mean, you're not going to be doing ProRes on it. I guess you don't really need a SSD in there. I figured it would only be worth it for like if you want a redundancy, but.
Well, we've been testing the Mavic 3 Enterprise for the past week and a half. I have to say flight performance has been great. So we can talk about that next week. I thought the parachute would mount on because Mavic 3 has just a USB Type-C plug on the top that you can mount different accessories.
Yeah.
And because the payload SDK is actually, PSDK is actually available to third parties. So I thought the accessories would all just connect.
I saw some fascinating accessories.
I
saw one. I don't know what the use case is for this.
Which one? I'll try to look for it here.
Let's see. I have a photo of it. So let me quickly
go
to the person. So it's a mic. It was a microphone. It was a boom mic. So I sent it to my friend who when I go out and do like video gigs, stuff like that, I sent it to him
So
as a
someone can
joke.
speak to the drone?
I think it's the pickup noise. Okay, so CZI. So I think that's a network sponsor.
CZI.
It should be like the second one down.
Second one down.
Right there,
Network.
the blue one there, right there. Premium network sponsor. It's
this
Cheng.
one?
I don't know. Yeah, that one. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, their logo is CZI though. It's weird. They didn't go by it though with their logos. It's like so they had a good amount of views. And they had one. It was hilarious. It has to be at least like a 3 foot long mic.
Digital voice broadcasting.
Digital voice broadcasting. Well, that's the speakers. I'm trying to see if I have. Is there a name? It's the M10 broadcast and sound pickup.
M10. I don't even see it.
Maybe digital. Maybe click on that. Yeah, that.
Yeah. See the full list.
Let's see. No, they don't. Maybe it's not on the mic. Maybe it's not on their website yet. It's really. It was just. Okay, Siri. Siri, go away. Why are you doing that, Siri? Siri just told me back the last 5 minutes of my conversation. No, so like it's like a 6 foot long, not 6. It's like a 3 foot long, just like boom mic. On the end of a Mavic 3 Enterprise. It looks really dumb. But also like I don't know what you use it for. Let me up my brightness. So that's it's not gonna work. I don't think it's not gonna work. But it's I guess maybe for law enforcement they want to listen to something, but also like I'm just thinking like how much drone noise you're just gonna pick up. If it's like right above the drone.
It seems like they do have some interesting accessories.
There were some very interesting accessories. Like there's some spotlights and they had some big old speakers.
Strong sound dispersion built into micro camera.
I almost took a photo of that.
Their description is terrible, but
oh yeah,
I have to say product picture looks interesting.
I almost took a photo of that and sent it to you. Like I found your sound system. That was there. That was pretty cool. So that was a speaker with
searchlight and searchlight and broadcasting system.
The spotlights like move independently of that, so you can move those up and down, which was interesting. Like on a separate control. And they had one that had like one on each side as well, so you can have like 4 spotlights on one. So that was kind of cool. That's what a lot of it was. There was a lot of just like really kind of like niche accessories for enterprise use. Like there was a company that had like cases that were just like custom built for like the M30 and the M300.
Is it just the case, or is it the case with the monitor building, like a command and control station?
I think they had one there with a monitor, but their main product was just like if you need just something to put your stuff into. I think they like primarily were like they weren't doing cases. They were just kind of doing like you put the drone in here, all your batteries, your controller, your cords, like all this stuff goes in like one thing, and like it's more rugged than a Pelican. It's like it's more custom. It's custom built just for the drone versus like a Pelican where you have to like get the foam and like cut it out.
Right.
So that I legit was looking at the Mavic 3 one, like this looks pretty nice. Like if it fits the Mavic 3 Enterprise, it fits the Mavic 3 normal. Like. That might be pretty nice.
Was there anything from Flight Base? Because they're supposed to.
Flight Base did a demo. They also were on the BV Loss panel that I went to. Yep. Kind of talking about how they did like a how to set up your BV Loss like kind of like system, like set up your command center and whatnot. And they were interesting people. They're interesting. They had some. It was more. I don't know. I guess it wasn't like over my head, but it was more like it was really much tailored towards people who are already flying it and like here's our software and here's how you use our software and or like here's the regulations that go into it and stuff like that. So but I got to like see a lot of the software. Like I got to see Hub 2 and I got to see Flight Base and how it works, and at least got to see what I've been like reading about, which is kind of nice.
So I mean, overall, you haven't been involved much with enterprise side. Right.
No, that's why I went to it. That's why I really want to go to it.
I would say by going to Airworxs, was there anything that convinced you, you would start off an enterprise operation?
Agriculture. Spraying. 100%. The dude, like legit, I did the math. 5,000 times 18 is like, it's like $500,000 a year. I'm like,
should we start a crowdfunding to fund? Let's fund Kirk's
drone
agriculture
DJ.
and see where that goes.
I need 30,000 for a drone, and I need about another like 60,000 for regulations and stuff like that. I don't know. Like,
Remember, you're in the camera business, so remember the rule of thumb for camera, right? Just think about how much you spend for the camera body and how much you spend for accessories, and then how much you spend on going out to acquire businesses and doing post workflow and delivering of the final product, right?
Like, I think like the plan, like I do want to go around the different farms like in my area because I live on the outskirts of the city, and like if I go like 15 minutes south, like it just turns into a bunch of like it just turns into a bunch of farms. Or like if I go west, it turns into a bunch of farms. Like just stop and be like, do you guys use drones to fly? Do you guys like how do you guys spray? Like because there's ground-based spraying, and then you have the air-based, and then you have drones. Like and drones is kind of like in the middle because like I think it's like ground-based is the cheapest. But like the least efficient, and then you have the air, which is kind of like the fastest and then,
most expensive.
Yeah, I guess it's like they were. If you do plane, yeah, I think it's more expensive. But if you do the helicopter, like a lot of people like they base their pay off what the helicopters are doing. So like because it's pretty much the same. Like the helicopter is pretty much just as accurate, can be just as accurate as a drone. It's just like a little more cumbersome.
You didn't. So you went to CES, but you didn't go to AUVSI, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Comparing, I mean, CES obviously with DJI Airworks, the two are at totally different audience base, totally different market, right?
There were a lot of enterprise drone solutions at CES still, but none that were like they were trying. Like a lot of they're still in startup, rather than stuff like that.
Someone just talked about bringing down a drone because I initially when I looked at DJI website, let me just see. Initially on the DJI website under products, they still have the drone detection systems on there, which is the Aeroscope, but it's actually not available for sale in North American market. So
they'll have remote ID, and DJI. DJI is very
pro. Remote ID? Did they actually demo remote ID at the?
No, they didn't. I mean, they have it. They talked about it in one of their keynotes. And they're very pro remote ID. They are very like they think this is the best way for things to go forward. Although talking to a lot more people, they're kind of like, but could it be can everyone be forced to have ADSB out now? Like, like it's funny because like technically you're supposed to have ADSB out, but like technically, no crop duster has ADSB out. Like speaking from experience, I've had crop dusters sneak up on me before, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, so, I know that's the question we always ask. I guess final words. What did you think about the Airworxs?
It was good. It was awesome. I mean, it's very formative for those who are into the enterprise solution. Like if you do any sort of enterprise stuff, like you'll meet a lot of people who are doing similar things there. If
networking you don't have anything,
networking is great. I mean, like I've met even just media wise, like getting to meet just networking with media people are always great to have. Meeting the people who I've emailed countless times over the past year in person finally, which is super cool to see. But learning, I mean, if you don't know something about one item, I mean, I went to the more basic sessions, but there were some pretty detailed sessions, like going into like just straight up, just methane, like alone. There was a session just on methane. So there's a lot. If you're into that kind of stuff, you can learn a lot there.
Great. Well, this is the year we saw Airworxs being back in person post-COVID. So I hope it keeps carrying on. It seems every year it's usually bigger. More products, more inclusive from different drone ecosystem than just DJI, right? So look forward to next year. Well, that's all we have for you this week. It's the special episode on DJI's Airworxs 2022. And when we come back next week, we have more enterprise and new drone updates to share with you as well. Take care, everyone.